Get out of this house right now. We don't want you here.
This is my house. You get out.
For 18 years, I thought I knew my wife. I thought we were a team. I stayed home to raise our son, Marcus, because Sarah's career demanded constant travel. I was a full-time dad, and I embraced it. I cooked, cleaned, managed the house, and made sure Marcus had a stable life even when Sarah was gone for weeks. I believed in our future. But the truth is I was alone long before she ever walked out the door. The night my world fell apart, I was on the couch with Marcus. He was scrolling through his phone while I flipped channels. The front door flew open, and Sarah strode in like a queen returning to her castle. But she wasn't alone. A man I'd never seen trailed behind her, a corporate shark with gelled hair and an arrogant smirk. Clinging to Sarah's hand was a little girl, maybe 5 years old. Her features mirrored Sarah's so perfectly that the truth hit me like a physical blow. Sarah didn't say hello. She didn't kiss Marcus. She just dropped a stack of divorce papers on the coffee table. "Sign them," she ordered. "You need to be out tonight." 18 years of marriage reduced to a single command. Marcus froze next to me, his eyes wide. I struggled to find my voice. "Sarah, what is this? Who are they?" "This is my life now," she said, her voice like ice. "Derek and I are together. Emma," she gestured to the child, "is ours. You've done nothing for years. The marriage is over. I'm done pretending." Nothing? The word echoed in my head. I had built our home from the ground up. I was at every parent-teacher meeting, nursed every fever, and soothed every scraped knee while she was off on business trips, skipping birthdays and holidays. And here she was, rewriting our entire history with a cold, cruel precision. Her boyfriend Derek just stood there, smirking like he'd won the lottery. Marcus's hands tightened on his phone, but he stayed silent, watching, waiting. I glanced at the divorce papers. Legal jargon blurred before my eyes. Sarah had always reminded me that her father left her the house. "This is my home," she'd say during arguments. "You're just living in it." But as I looked at the little girl, it all started to click, the timing. The increasingly long business trips. The unfamiliar perfume on her clothes, the late-night calls she'd take outside. She wasn't just having an affair. She was living a complete double life. And now, she brought the evidence of her betrayal right into our living room, expecting me to just roll over. "I'm not signing anything tonight," I said, my voice quiet but firm. Her eyes narrowed. "You don't have a choice." Oh, but I did. And she had no idea how big of a choice it was. What Sarah never knew, because she never bothered to ask, was what I did during all those lonely nights she was away. I wasn't just sitting around. I was writing. It started as therapy, a way to process my feelings. But it grew into a passion and then a career. Under the pen name Art J. Hayes, I had written 3 books. My latest, *The Patient Game*, was a bestseller. The movie rights had been sold. The royalties were pouring in. I had built a quiet success, a quiet income, and quiet independence. And every single cent was in accounts that Sarah couldn't touch. She was so focused on her promotions and her secret life that she never noticed the one I was building right under her nose. I finally looked up from the papers, my voice steady. "You said the house is yours." "It's not." Confusion flickered across her face. I pulled up a scanned document on my phone. It was the deed. Years ago, before her father passed away, he transferred it to me. He told me he trusted me to care for Marcus and protect the home that Sarah always took for granted. The transfer was notarized, filed, and 100% legal. It was my house. She snatched the phone from my hand, her eyes widening in disbelief as she read. This isn't possible. It's very real," I said. "And very legal." Derek's smug expression finally cracked. Their plan was simple. Kick me to the curb, move their new family in, and erase me, but they were sloppy. They hadn't checked the facts. Suddenly, Marcus stood up. He walked over to the bookshelf, picked up a hardcover copy of *The Patient Game*, my book, and held it out to his mother. "Dad wrote this," he said, his voice clear and strong. "He's Art J. Hayes." Sarah stared at the book cover as if it were poison. "No," she whispered. "You're lying. I didn't have to say a word. Marcus did it for me." "You never paid attention," he told her, his voice cutting through the tension. "To him. To me. To anything except yourself. Derek grabbed the book, his arrogance melting into raw panic as he flipped through it. This is worth millions, he muttered, his mind already doing the math. Sarah's greed flared in her eyes instantly. Then half of it is mine, she declared. We were married when he wrote it. I almost felt sorry for her, almost. The divorce was finalized 2 weeks ago, I said calmly. You already signed everything. Her face went completely white. I gestured to the papers she'd thrown on the table. Her signature was right there at the bottom, dated and filed. In her rush to get rid of me, she had signed away any claim to my assets, my royalties, and, best of all, any right to contest ownership of the house. Derek exploded. You tricked her! No, I replied, shaking my head. She just didn't read what she signed. Again? Sarah turned to Marcus, her voice desperate. Please? I didn't know. I didn't mean... He took a step back from her. You never meant anything that wasn't about you. Tears filled her eyes. I'll fight it in court. You can try, I told her, but you'll lose. The court already approved the settlement. The look on her face was the first truly honest thing I had seen from her in years. Pure, unadulterated fear. Get out, I said quietly. Take your new family. And take the life you chose. For a moment she just stood there, frozen. Then the little girl, Emma, tugged on her sleeve. Mommy. Can we go? Derek finally snapped out of it and pulled Sarah toward the door. Their perfect plan had crumbled. Their bright future had gone up in flames. When the door closed behind them, the silence in the room felt like peace. You okay, Dad? Marcus asked, his voice soft. For the first time in a long time, I said, a real smile spreading across my face. Yeah. I really am. A few days later, I filed for child support. Sarah screamed at me over the phone, furious that her new life wasn't as financially secure as she'd planned. I calmly informed her that she owed Marcus for 18 years of absence and neglect. And when I reminded her about the infidelity clause she'd blindly signed, she went silent. She had no choice but to pay. The fallout was swift. Derek lost his job once the affair became public. They ended up in a cramped apartment, struggling to make ends meet. The perfect life they had envisioned together vanished. Meanwhile, Marcus thrived. He started reading more, writing more. He applied to college with a newfound confidence. Our house finally felt warm again. It felt like ours. Months later, I published my next book. Without telling me, Marcus mailed a signed copy to Sarah. Inside, he had written a dedication to those who mistake quiet men for weak men they never are. We never heard from Sarah again. The life she tried so hard to destroy simply healed and grew stronger without her. And the biggest lesson I learned through all of this? Sometimes the best revenge is to just step back and let people drown in the consequences of their own choices. Thanks for listening to my story. If you've ever felt underestimated, remember your own strength. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories. See you next time.